This 2025-26 season for the NBA was very eye-opening, with a lot of surprising players and teams showing out. A step in the right direction for a lot of teams and big pushes towards the playoffs, as well as first-time All-Stars, a great rookie class, and much more were a part of what made this 2026 season very entertaining to watch. But that was only the beginning, as the playoffs brought big-time moments and performances from stars and role players alike. But no moment bigger than the NBA Finals, where a different champion was crowned for the 8th time in a row, as the New York Knicks would beat the Spurs in 5 games, with both Finals MVP Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby's star play igniting a gritty Knicks team to comebacks in every game. And I think teams could learn a lot from these playoffs to further improve their rosters. First, talking about this Knicks team, they really can't be replicated because of the pay cut Brunson took to get the rest of his teammates paid. Almost every player of Brunson's caliber will go for max deals, which makes it hard for that player's front office to then build around them. Though I don't blame these players for going for max deals, because at the end of the day, it's a business, get your money. So for these front offices, they're going to have to kind of go into the bargain bin and find these undervalued players through trades or in free agency, as well as hitting on draft picks to really build a contender around a max player. With Brunson taking the risk by accepting the pay cut and betting on the Knicks' improvement, the Knicks president Leon Rose stayed aggressive in trading their future for Mikal Bridges and trading beloved players like Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for Karl-Anthony Towns, as they were the last major pieces they needed to win the championship. I still think a lot of teams wouldn't make that kind of move given the risk of gutting their future and draft picks. But this mindset might change with the new rules to the NBA draft lottery that will further discourage bad teams for losing. Though it was a gamble, the players they acquired throughout the years in OG, Cat, and Bridges, and even rotational pieces like Landry Shamet and Jose Alvarado all fit the Knicks' playstyle and mentality as well, and it really made the gamble worthwhile as they won the chip. Now with Brunson's play over the last few years, I think we can all agree now that he's a number 1 option on the championship team, but I just don't think his play changed the minds of most front offices in the league about building around a small guard. Most teams will continue to focus using bigger wings to carry their offenses due to their ability to attack more matchups and more than likely becoming two-way players, not becoming liabilities on defense, which happens to more smaller guards. So with other small guards like Trae Young and Tyrese Maxey leading your offense as top options, them being liabilities on defense makes it more difficult finding the right two-way players to build around, as well as finding the right defensive players to build around without compromising your offense in the process. Now what I'm about to talk about real quick is more my opinion on what teams should be doing compared to what GMs and what front offices are thinking after this year's playoffs. But yeah, it's that teams should be building more towards playoff risers. There's still obviously some things to consider, like their age and their role on the team over the past few years, but these playoffs have created playoff risers from veterans to even rookies and unlikely names making an impact in these playoffs. Like I mentioned earlier with smaller guards like Tyrese Maxey and Trae Young, they are examples, as well as Donovan Mitchell, who's had a history as a playoff riser since his days with the Jazz. And even Kyrie Irving, who was a key part of the Mavericks making the finals a couple seasons ago. But the Knicks also had a lot of playoff risers too, with OG and his all-star performance in the finals, as well as the rest of the starters having big moments throughout the playoffs as well. Stars like Scottie Barnes and Cade Cunningham, who despite their team's glaring weaknesses, still showed out and had great performances, but outside the obvious number 1 options, playoff risers like role players and third options should be prioritized, more like Jaden McDaniels, Dylan Brooks, RJ Barrett, CJ McCollum, and Stephon Castle, as they all showed out. And the same goes for some teams too, with the OKC Thunder and all their young guards stepping up, as well as center Jalen Williams. The Minnesota Timberwolves with Ayo Dosunmu and Terrence Shannon stepping up. A Raptors core that had to step up with 2 starters missing from the lineup. 8th seeded Magic that had a very disappointing regular season, but the playoffs ending up going 7 games with the number 1 seeded Pistons. as well as even rookies like the Spurs' Dylan Harper, where at times he had to be the primary creator and scorer in moments of the NBA Finals, where in that series he averaged 18 points and 6 assists against the New York Knicks. And Raptors rookie Colin Boyles, where he played great defense, averaging 14 points and 6 boards in the first round, which included a 20-point game and a double-double against the Cavs. Now, just to quickly talk about the San Antonio Spurs, the Western Conference champs really showed up in the finals, at least at the start of most of those games throughout the series, but they would end up choking a lead every time as the Knicks would deliver at the end of those games. But for a young team, they really made great strides overall, with Wemby, Dylan Harper, and Stephon Castle all showing great potential. Even though the spacing would need to improve a bit around those three, they still had some very good performances from Julian Champagnie and Devin Vassell as role players. And with this deep playoff run, the Spurs' championship window officially started. And teams building to beat the Spurs right now will have to focus towards physicality, at least to have a clear advantage in some area. And this was one area where the Knicks beat the Spurs with the Knicks' main defenders, just preventing the Spurs from paint touches and forcing difficult shots around there as well. Though the Spurs team could be developing fast, as it might not be a long-term issue, as Harper and Castle leading the way as their guards. Both of them are very strong for their position, and even a developing strong forward like Carter Bryant that's shown flashes as a two-way player in his first season. And those three players are very good examples of what the Spurs are going to look for the next few years, being a very physical team around Victor Wembanyama. So to quickly summarize what front offices might have learned from this final series as well as the playoffs. First is that both teams are anomalies for two very different reasons. First, with the Spurs and their draft luck around Victor Wembanyama and what they were able to get out of those lottery picks, as well as the Knicks and Jalen Brunson's pay cut, which got everybody paid and gave them the depth they needed to win. Second is having that smaller guard really be your top option and creator will give you limited routes to creating a contender just due to their limited defensive capabilities. Third, teams will take big swings at players, just knowing the parity in the league right now with different finals opponents every year, and with the lottery odds for the NBA draft evening out for even play-in teams and teams that aren't the worst in the league, helping out more of the teams in the middle. And lastly is the way that teams are going to have to build against the San Antonio Spurs and even the OKC Thunder, as you're going to have to build more physical teams compared to their younger squads right now. So let me know what you've learned from this year's playoffs in the comments, and let me know if these results really changed the minds of NBA front offices around the league. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. As always, thank you for watching, and I'm out.